Hi everybody, my name is America Cristiano and I'm here to share with you guys my story on behalf of the Anova Foundation, as you can see from my background. I'm excited to begin. Cool. So a little bit about me. I am a first generation Latina, currently studying computer science at UT Austin with a minor in business. I'm also now the president of HACS, aka the Hispanic Association of Computer Scientists at UT Austin. And currently during the summer, I am interning at Microsoft as a SWE, aka software engineer intern, and it's now my second time interning with them. Last summer, I was an Explore intern. And during my internships, I decided that I didn't just want to focus on my project. I also wanted to find the community with Microsoft and network and learn more about the bigger aspect of Microsoft as a company, because they're great. So I joined the Hola ERG. ERG meaning Employee Resource Group, and Hola being the Hispanic one at Microsoft. And thanks to Hola and my friend Eden Garza, I was able to get connected with the Anova Foundation. And I've been joining forces with them this summer and helping them out. I'll talk a little bit about them at the end. So, as for the pictures, this is me in what I call my power suit. It is lilac, my favorite color, and I bought it in Paris when I studied abroad this spring. And here is my ring celebration, and that's my entire family doing the hug 'em sign, and it's when I got my class ring, which was very exciting for all of us. Happy days. Awesome. So my tech journey. The picture that you guys see is currently my workstation where I'm sitting right now, because due to everything, I'm working from home, and that's the technology and swag that Microsoft was very nice and gracious to send over to me so that I could work. Except for the HP laptop, that's mine. But yeah, and there you can see the little laptop of Nuvi. Behind that is like an actual laptop. But yeah, Nuvi's cute. That's our Anova Foundation mascot. His face is all over here. Yep. So my tech journey. I like sharing my journey because growing up, I guess, all the other tech journeys that I heard about were from a lot of people that started coding and starting their tech life since they made it sound like since they were in the womb, which is awesome and dandy that people were able to find out what they wanted to do with their life and start early, but that's not me. Although that being said, I did always know that I wanted to do something with technology. I had a passion for it since I was little. I still remember, I think around my 9-year-old Christmas, I believe, my dad had gifted me his old laptop, and it was just super amazing to me. Now I had my own personal magic box, and I liked playing with it and seeing all the features, touching all the buttons, seeing what would change, what would happen, messing with the computer. And I would say I did take some computer science classes in middle school, but they were more about how to use a computer rather than how they worked, and especially not coding. Did not code until I reached college. Honestly, I didn't even hear the words computer science until my junior year of high school, and that was only because it was application time for universities, and they were asking me what I wanted my major to be, and I had no idea. For some reason, I figured that there would be a cute little technology major, so you can get ahead and get the one technology job. I had no idea just how grand the entire industry was. And I don't know why I didn't do more investigation earlier on in my career, but I didn't. I had a lot of other passions. Growing up, I was a dancer, I was an artist, I was a photographer. Also school, my academics were my number one focus. So I don't know. I didn't do coding until college. That's my story. That's my reality. But I will say, so again, junior year, first time I heard computer science, but I was very kind of overwhelmed. I didn't know what to choose, and I asked my high school counselor, for help. She basically ended up giving me a list of what I assumed to be the most common majors, and it was kind of overwhelming because all I did was I saw this pages of all these words. I didn't recognize what half of them were or what they did, and it was a lot, to be honest. So if you're there, I feel you. I was there. So instead of trying to say all these names and trying to say, oh, that one, that's what I want to do, because it was just too much, I ended up going down the list and marking off the ones that I was for sure, did not want to do, did not interest me. Because I basically, way of elimination, I thought that would be much easier for me. So I went down the list. I'm like, okay, accounting, no thank you. Agriculture, I'm fine. Architecture, no thanks. So a lot of the A names I wasn't a big fan of. But down the list, I ended up with about like 4 or 5 majors that seemed interesting to me. 2 of them being computer science and computer engineering. And to be completely honest, yes, it was only because they had the word computer in them. So I started doing research and I Googled both of them and I was like, what are you? What's the difference? But that wasn't very helpful in my case because they just said a lot of words that I didn't understand, and then sometimes they would give me like articles on stuff, but I'm like, cool, I don't really know what this means. I don't know what any of this means. You're using big words. Now I'm even more confused. So I started asking friends, and they kid you not, the best answers I got for these was computer science. That's like coding, right? And computer engineering. I think that's hardware. Best answers I got after asking a few people. I was like, cool. So here I am needing to make the decision of my major for all these college applications, and that's the best I got. So I decided that hardware and like the physical stuff wasn't like the biggest fan of it. I hadn't even done it, but I was like, no, thank you. So I'm like, cool, computer science it is. And like, cool, coding. I guess I'll figure out what that is and how to do that. I don't know, let's start. So I basically came into college blind. Again, first generation, oldest sister, oldest like sibling, didn't know oldest cousin, didn't know what to expect, didn't know what they expected from me, didn't even really know what my major was, blind. And when we're talking about coding, if you guys are like, oh, she got into UTCS, like she obviously had to know about blah blah blah. No, nope. I knew zero. Okay, zero. I will emphasize this point so much. I knew nothing when I came in. I did not write my first line of code, and it was, the "Hello World" line until my first semester at college, and it was during Mike Scott's 312 Intro to Programming class. Nothing. Okay, I didn't even like really know until I got there that there were multiple coding languages. I didn't know what an IDE was, which by the way is like a work environment where you can write your code and make sure that your computer doesn't explode. Well, it probably wasn't going to actually explode. It's just like a safe space for it. And it's like, okay, that's what they describe it to me, and I'm like, cool, that makes sense. Okay, I guess I won't do like the terminal right now because that's a whole scary thing right now. And yeah, I didn't know anything. And I think looking back, it was so funny that I thought like technology was like this one path that had this like one job, but there's like infinite amount of possibilities. So, in case you guys don't believe me when I said I knew zero, I want to share this story because it's funny now looking back, and I think maybe other people will be able to connect to it. So, something that people don't always talk about is imposter syndrome. That's basically whenever you feel like you're an imposter in the field, the school, the space that you're in. And I was, and honestly still am, like dealing with that. And I don't know, it's a lot of like, I guess, negative thoughts of like not feeling good enough, or that other people are better than you, and that you don't belong, that you somehow, I don't know, like got in, but you, like, it's all these things, negative thoughts that aren't true. Like if you're there, you earned your spot. Like, and you're brilliant and you're great in your own way, and everyone's brilliant, and but it's still all these thoughts. So I was going through that, and I remember specifically around like the first weeks of the semester, the intro to programming class, and the professor was teaching, and then there was just something that I didn't understand, and I knew that it was very simple, like a very simple concept, but I didn't understand what the difference was. I had a question, and I was like, I don't know what this is. So I decided that like after class, I was gonna go down there and ask him. So class ended, and I'm here, walking down the steps because I was in the auditorium, and there were already like 2 students ahead of me, and then I got in line. And then I felt like 5 other students had gotten in the line behind me. And the thoughts started racing in my head. I was like, crap, like what if my question is like very silly or very dumb? Like I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I think somebody just mentioned something about like a hash map. I have no idea what that is. Like, what even is that? Like, they probably have like better questions than me. Like, why am I even here? They're gonna hear my question. They're gonna laugh at me. Then the first student left. So it was just one student and myself. I said like, oh no, like it's almost my turn. I was like getting ready, like all these like exit strategies, all my excuses. I was gonna be like, oh sorry, like my class started 10 minutes ago. Gotta run. Oh my god, wow. Like start running. I was ready to like run because I felt that my question wasn't good enough and that I was going to get laughed at and that they had better questions and that I was like wasting the professor's time or the student's time for asking my question. But then that student left. So it was just me, like face to face with the professor. I think I was kind of frozen for a bit. And then Mike Scott says, oh, hi, America. Like, how can I help you? The fact that he knew my name was one of like the greatest moments I think in like my college career, because like yeah, like in elementary, middle school, and high school, my professors knew my name, but it was also like smaller classes, not this professor that had like over 100 students each semester and completely new people, completely new faces. But he knew my name, he knew my face, and that was like, whoa, it's like crazy. Okay, so I got the courage to ask him a question. What was my question, you might ask? It was, what's the difference between a print statement and a println? That was my question. Very simple concept looking back, but it was an honest question. I did not understand. And the imposter syndrome was still there. My thoughts were still racing. For some reason, I thought that he was going to give me like some like short answer and like wave me off and like ask, like go on and to help the other students. But he didn't. He took out his laptop from his like computer bag, opened up the ID Blue Jay that we were using, and he was like, well, you see, it's like America, whenever you do two print statements, like at the end, they'll end up right next to each other. But if you do println, then they'll end up like on top of each other. And I was like, oh, he's like, think of println as like a new line. And I was like, blew my mind, everything clicked, things made sense. I was amazed, and I was like, that makes perfect sense, like, thank you. And he was like, yeah, no problem, anything else? And I was like, no, thank you. And that was the end of it. And it honestly taught me the importance of asking questions, because even if it was silly, it was an honest question. I didn't know. And asking him and him explaining that in like a minute, maybe two, would have been way better than me wasting time and going around trying to figure this out using the search engine that had those like scary words that I didn't understand, and maybe going days without understanding. So just to drive the point that I really started at zero. I was a blank slate, blank canvas, but that's not like something to feel bad about. And he didn't make me feel bad about that. And after that, I felt a lot of trust and asking him and his TAs questions during office hours or lab hours, as he called them. So, again, that's my story about that. And the rest of my college career, like, quickly learned how giant the tech industry was. First of all, I learned that internships were a thing and that they pay you. That was crazy. But the tech field is huge. Like, there's like all these other like subnets under that, sub branches, and like those branches have branches that they have, and like those branches have even like different like job titles and different job positions and different things that you can do. I think the main ones that are I can remember at the top of my head, there's cybersecurity, website development, app development, game development, AI, computer systems. What else is there? The cloud, machine learning, and like so many other more. Those are the ones that are like top of my head I can remember. But those have subsets under them. So like cybersecurity, it's like, do you want to be like red team, blue team, green team? Red team is in charge of basically like attacking the company legally and trying to figure out like where their vulnerabilities are, and reporting back to the company saying, hey, I was able to access this through this, and this is how I did it. Blue team is in charge of stopping red team, and green team is something that Microsoft has. Not sure if it's only Microsoft though, which is basically like maintaining the already existing security procedures that there are. But even then, there's also like cybersecurity consulting, and you can be a PM, aka like program or product manager for cybersecurity, and you can be a manager for cybersecurity, and you can just like write scripts, and there's like all these things that you can do, like infinite amount of possibilities, which can sound scary, but honestly I think it's like the beauty of technology. It's such like a fast moving industry, and there's infinite amount of possibilities, and you can like combine, I wouldn't say any passion that you have, combine it with technology and create something new, or maybe something already exists and like better that, to the point where if there's like a field that you're interested in and you don't see existing, you can create an entirely new field, like the cloud. Who would have ever thought about that? But someone did, and they created this giant thing that now is being used all over the world, and it's pretty awesome. So infinite amount of possibilities. I think it's great. Yeah. So another thing that I want to talk about that I would say is just as, if not honestly even more important than my tech journey, is my unexpected journey. At least that's how I like to call it. So basically, again, my first semester, first generation, yes, I'm going to mention that a lot because it's very important to me. I came in with like the giant, like big, like giant, like rose colored glasses that you can think of. And everything was new to me. Everything was exciting. College was exciting. You know, there's free t-shirts at events. There's free food going down Speedway. I'm going into this like giant buildings and being taught by amazing professors, like all these like new information, and I'm learning, and there's amazing people that I get to like talk about these like topics with. Very exciting stuff. So first semester, it was just, everything was new, everything was flashy, like wow. It wasn't really until my second semester when I would say I got more used to my environment that I started to look around and notice more stuff. So I would say specifically, I remember this. It was during my computer science class second semester that I just decided to literally stop and look around, and I noticed that there wasn't anybody else in the room that looks like me. And that made me very sad. I got even more curious, and I started like doing numbers, and I would say about a third of the class was women. And I was like, these numbers are very low. What do you mean there's nobody else here that looks like me? I'm like, surely I'm not the only one. And I wasn't. But it was just, I would say like literally an eye-opening experience. And I was like, nope, don't like this. This needs to change like yesterday. Like, what do you mean? Like, no, like this, like, I refuse for this to be a completely forever, like, white male cis dominated like field. Like, no, there's awesome people that deserve to be here too. So with that, I started joining more diversity orgs. One of them being HACS, the Hispanic Association of Computer Scientists. I then became the social officer for 2 years and now the president. I also got heavily involved with ABCS, the Association of Black Computer Scientists, and there's also WICS, Women in Computer Science, and newly Q++, it's for the LGBTQ community in computer science. Most of these orgs are open to people that don't identify as that and are not even in computer science, so pretty open. But I got more involved with them. They taught me amazing things like networking and resume reviews, and they gave me, but most importantly, they gave me a community. HACS gave me a familia, is what we like to call it, a place to go. We have even like a diversity office, and that's where I met most of my friends now. It gave me a community, it gave me a sense of self, and it was great. And I started joining fellowships. I think Chene Magares, my friend, she's the one that mostly opened my eyes to the importance of fellowships, because I didn't know what they were. I'm like, what is this word? That sounds scary. But she was just saying all these amazing things, and I'm like, okay, I need to like get on top of things. Like, okay, like what is there? I joined RTC, Rewriting the Code, which is an online tech community for women. And then Marquise Ware introduced myself and my friend Audra Collins, pictured there in the middle, and Marissa Jenkins to the Management Leadership for Tomorrow Fellowship, which is a fellowship aimed to creating the leaders for tomorrow, but specifically aimed at targeting Black, Hispanic, Latinx, and Native American students. So I joined these fellowships. I've been doing all these things, making my voice heard, understanding the importance of my presence, but most importantly, wanting to let others know that they can be here too, that their presence matters and that they're able to do it too. I constantly think of my sisters and my cousins. I'm the oldest sibling. So I want to make sure that they know that they can do it too, creating a better future. And myself, like, I didn't have anyone to ask these questions, so I like getting informed so that whenever they have their questions, I can help them. So they've been my fuel through like all of this. Yeah, so diversity, inclusion, and tech. I was just following my passion in tech, and then I did this and found my new passion. This is something that it's very dear to my heart. I put it in all aspects of my life, including like this summer. As you can see, Anova Foundation. I'll talk about them here in a bit. And it just became my main focus during my college careers, and I don't see it being any different anytime soon. I think it's something that I want to continue working towards because it's very important to me, and I think it should be very important to everyone. So, my advice to you, the viewer, is you are never too late to start. Don't let anybody make you believe that you are, or that your path, your journey is any less than someone else's just because it's different or it took you a little bit longer to get there. Never too late. You are valid, your journey is valid, and I just want to remind you of that. Second, try and find your passion and follow it. I don't think your passion can lead you astray, and I think following it will open new doors to you and continue showing you what you can do. If that's what you're passionate about, I think it's super important. And lastly, I want to say, stay curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions, especially the silly ones. Because if they're yours and they're genuine, I don't think that they're silly. And it's better to get help than to be stuck. So curiosity can help you a lot too. So that's my advice. So, the Anova Foundation. You have seen the background. I have mentioned them. Who are we? What do we do? Why do we exist? Why am I here right now talking to you? The mission is to inspire kids to be curious, confident, and courageous by discovering the world of STEM. And that's Nuvi. He's our mascot, as you can also see here. But yeah, so this is something that's so dear to me. So we, Anova Foundation, we target more like underrepresented students. And like I said, showing them that they can code too. That not just coding, we also have like hardware workshops. But just introducing like students to STEM, I think is a very powerful thing. And just showing like you can do this too. It's not as scary as it seems. And here are other people that have done it, and you have the power. I think it's very powerful, and it's a mission that really makes me excited, and I'm excited to be here. So it's something that's spoken to me. So that's why I decided to join forces with them. Ooh, skipping that one. And ways to stay in touch. So we have our Instagram page, which is where we post like updates on like what we're doing, and we also have our website, which I think is very cool. We have our workshops. There's also workshops in Espanol, so in case you feel better like being guided through like in Spanish, you can do that too. So it's there. We also have a YouTube channel, which should be like on our website, and there we have playlists. So in case like the tutorials or like just seeing the instructions aren't as helpful to you, and you would rather have somebody like talking through the walking you through the tutorials and through the workshops, and we're not able to go to your school, or we haven't gotten there yet, but you want to do this on your own, then we also have YouTube videos and playlists that somebody verbally walking you through the workshop, which I think is pretty cool. You can also, in case you want to partner or learn more about Nuevo, we have our email where you can contact us, and then that's my personal email, just in case you have questions about something and you would rather ask me. I don't know. I think knowledge is power. I think it's a very important thing. So if I'm able to help somebody, I would love to, because I was very limited in the people that I could ask when I started. Although now I've expanded my network. So if I can help, I would be more than happy to. Yeah, that is all from me. I say thank you. Again, my name is America Cristiano, and I hope you have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. Thank you for listening to my story. Yeah, bye.